you start off wide, right? With all these options and choices.
I'm looking for substance. So if you can't come with a substance level of conversation, I have no interest.
Okay.
You black man taking the liking of how my lifestyle is living and how I'm going, man. You being intrigued, man. That's very humbling for me, man.
My name is Arturo, aka Zzenn, and I am a proud narcissist.
Just on a scale of 1 to 10, hurting somebody, what level do you think that you have reached in your life? Like 1 being the least, 10 being the most. It could be anybody, it could be a group of people, whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this, basically I got into over 180 fights. I used to fight all the time. So that was like my main source of taking advantage of whoever I can, basically. So like what a narcissist does, like they find certain people that they want, that they can take advantage of, and they target them. So basically, my main target was like the people my age, because I used to fight I used to fight in my high school, whatever. I used to fight in my middle school and all that, but I used to just target everybody. I wanted to fight. Like I used to fight 2 times a day. So my main thing was like fighting, but there was one moment where I let out all my anger and I tried to like off my brother. And believe it or not, that was one of the reasons why I did become a narcissist, whatever. And we can get deep into that as well. But just to stick to that question, that one moment where I actually had the advantage to do something to my brother, I wanted to really take advantage of it to the fullest extent.
Now, when you say fighting, just quick fights or just beating somebody to the floor. I mean, like you couldn't control yourself, because that might be a separate topic than just being a narcissist.
Right. You know what's crazy though? Like I've always had empathy when it came to that. Like when I was in school, whatever, I used to fight my friends. I was like legit just fighting my friends, but I always wanted to punch something. So it came to a point where like I get into a fight, and then at the end I'm like, all right, cool, we done. As long as I won, I'm good. But I remember like losing. I lost 2 fights. I lost all my fights basically. The moment I lost those fights, okay, there was one fight I had. I fought this wrestler. I didn't know he was wrestling, but I was talking mad jump. But next thing you know, like he had me in a sleeper hold, full Nelson and all that, to the point where I legit felt comfortable in his arm. He had me in the like, he had me in the, he had me in the headlock for so long to the point where I just started like I tried to tickle him. I forgot I was fighting. Then and all that,
I'm sorry to laugh, dog.
Oh, you good, you good. Yeah. You good. My crush was sitting there just shaking her head and all that.
Okay.
I'm looking like, it was embarrassing. So next thing you know, like my pride was so hurt to a point where I started training MMA. I started like trying to learn how to fight MMA just to have a rematch with this person. So as soon as I like fought him again, I beat him, so I was satisfied. So it came to a point where the moment I do lose something, my pride is so shut down to a point where I get in killer instinct and all that. So the reason why I brought up my brother, because this is the one time where I didn't have any empathy. When I fought my brother, I broke his back. Like I slammed him on the table, whatever, and I tried to choke him out, but my mother caught me. And then when my mother caught me, she told me to come into the room, whatever, and she started bad mouthing me like crazy. She started saying like, "Oh, you're nothing" and all that. Like my brother could have so she was basically rooting for my brother and all that, to a point where I had like I legit was drinking blood or whatever, to a point where I wanted to attack my mother. So instead, I left the house. And there's another thing that triggered me. I don't know how it like just cycled down into this. This might be the controversial part right here. Like
Okay.
I saw this dude. Like he was just kicking the dog. He was kicking the dog or whatever, like a puppy, like in the train tracks. So I thought about all the stuff that my brother was doing, all the stuff that my mother said. I just took it all out on him to a point where I just started punching his face in. And I didn't kill him. But that's just the moment where I realized that I needed to slow down on what I was doing, beast.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Beating people, being mean spirited, being a bully. having low impulse controls. I get it. But now you did mention this guy put you in this sleeper hole, which I'm sorry to laugh at that, but that was funny the way you put it, man, is that you felt safe in his arms or whatever you said. I was like, I can't help but laugh at that. Dude, I almost fell out my goddamn seat when you said that, man. Honestly, that was a hell of a way.
I got you.
That was a hell of a way to put that. So, but most times, narcissists, especially in society, especially in our culture, African American culture, or even let's just say mainstream media culture, it's always associated to relationship matters, right? And then it's definitely heavily skewed towards men being narcissists, because it seems to me that a lot of women use that term very loosely about men being narcissists.
Right.
How has narcissism reached into like your relationship matters, the people who you have in your life?
You know what's crazy though? Like, I have to thank my father for this, because my father taught me to never mistreat a female. But the crazy part about that is the women that I've dealt with were the ones that was telling me that I was narcissistic. But mind you, I never cheated, never beat on these women. Like, I call one lady the B word and all that, but that was neither here nor there. She kind of deserved it, because she said my uncle was gay for being a pastor.
I'm sure she called you one back, so it's even,
Well, no, she called me a bunch of stuff. She tried to get me shot before I called her the B word.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's nothing.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, the reason why I consider myself a narcissist now, because I have to look at what these other people think. Like, most of the people that actually called me a narcissist were narcissistic women. Like, the ones that actually showed narcissism, the ones that like didn't want to hold themselves accountable, the one that wanted to blame the world for what they've been doing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like in the beginning, when I started calling myself a narcissist, I started trolling the women that was calling me narcissists, because they're narcissists. Like, they're narcissistic. So usually, like, the most narcissistic, the most narcissistic people are the ones that want to call the narcissistic person, like, first, call out a narcissistic person first. So, like, it comes to a point where the women that I've dealt with, they were more narcissistic than anything. And I can tell you exactly.
I believe that.
Yeah, and I can tell you exactly where that came from and why people are narcissists now. But I mean, I believe Black women are the most narcissistic people in the world right now. Personally, I believe.
Okay, controversy alert right there, man. Your views just went up right there. What the hell does that mean, man?
So boom, right? Okay, so when you take a narcissist and all that, you take the most oppressed group of people and fill them with lies before you heal them. So basically, when I was growing up, I've been going through molestation, neglect, abuse, and all that. So I grew up without getting help. I was still violent. I was still like the insecure person, whatever. I was wet in the bed too at the same time, like, cause like going through molestation, it's like a defense mechanism to start like wet in the bed and all that. So I was still going through my crazy like behaviors and all that. But at the same time, I started playing basketball, so I started getting praised for playing basketball. I started playing football. I started getting praised for playing football. I was looking better. So all that stuff, like all the stuff that I've been going through within my body, like, was getting overshadowed by what was outside my body, basically. It's kind of like a snake bite, right? Like, take a snake bite or whatever. If you get bit by a rattlesnake and all that, you're supposed to get treated. You're supposed to get anti-venom or whatever, like go to the hospital and all that. Picture somebody putting a Band-Aid over it and saying it's okay. Like, you're not going to see what's eating inside of you. But you're going to ignore it because that Band-Aid is there. So when it comes to like being a narcissist, like, all you're doing is taking all that pain that you've been going through and shading it with lies or whatever, to a point where they start believing in that lie. And that lifestyle, whatever, becomes that lie. So the moment somebody open up to your past or whatever you're going through, you're going to get overly emotional or whatever, you try to block it. That's why the lack of accountability comes in, because you don't want to see, you don't want to remember what you've been going through, because now you're going to have to backtrack that you were wrong in your entire life. So now you want to overshadow it with Huh? Yeah, so you want to overshadow it with your looks. You want to overshadow it with like surface BS. So yeah, so that's about it. Like, I mean, so when it comes to women, women are usually the ones that have been abused,
You
most
said black
oppressed.
women.
Black women, yeah, black women. They've been the most abused, the most oppressed, the most like sexually violated,
Marginalized.
like
Yep.
marginalized. Yeah, so when they get older and they get this level of power, they didn't get the healing yet. They still like it's still running in their DNA that they've been going through all this stuff, but now they're getting called queens and they're beautiful instead of like before getting healing. So now they're blocking all the stuff that they've been through when it came to trauma and overshadowing it with some BS. So when I say that they're
So do
narcissists or whatever, this, huh?
I was gonna say, so do you think that that is partly the reason why we have less higher marriage rates than other cultures, and positive relationship rates where where longevity is a part of the relationship? It seems like we go through these short, choppy relationships in our culture, and I'm just thinking, do you think that that relates to black women and even black men and the trauma that we possibly have went through being raised, and even just generationally?
Absolutely. So like that also you have to bring up the feminist movement too, because like when it came to the feminist movement, like it was usually like lesbian white women that was like that was ruling the feminist movement. But they wanted to make their movement larger, so they target the ones that were in the house alone. They target the ones that like the father had to leave the house or whatever because of certain situations. So they target the black women. So even though black men and black women were like balanced out when it came to our oppression and all that, and white men was up here, like white women was down here and all that. Like basically they made the black women believe that they were in the same boat to a point where like now the black women or whatever started like thinking the same as white women or whatever, but we were still all depressed at the same time. So now they're gonna believe something that was totally not for that group. So now it's gonna come to a point where like they're going through oppression still, but they still believe that situation because they have that small sense of power and all. So now now when it comes to women saying that they're independent, that's all because of the the lesbians from from the white feminist movement. So
Got
like
it.
now it's gonna come to a point. So now it's gonna come to the point where like when they do get these jobs and all that, when they do get these like college degrees and everything, they're not gonna need us anymore. So now they're gonna say like they're gonna put like their power when it can come to their careers and all that, and the belief of being independent over the black man and all that. So now that all the men is
Hmm.
gonna do is trying to fight for their position back. So
Okay.
basically, like
Okay.
now when yeah, I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So like
I can interject if you want me to, or go ahead.
oh yeah, I mean like if you have something to say, my bad. I don't mean to like be long
No,
winded.
no, you totally fine, man. I just feel like, how like when you're in a conversation with somebody, it's like double dutch. You got to jump in. Remember
Right,
when you played that as a kid with the little girls? You got to jump in sometimes
right,
to say something, or you're not even
right,
playing in the game.
right.
So I wanted to kind of stay on that, but then kind of jump into your past a little bit.
Okay.
Who would you blame more for creating the narcissist that you say that you are? Would it be your mother, your father, or the person who victimized you? Who would be the culprit of creating you?
My mother. My mother. Because okay, so yeah, I mean, yeah, so my mother was definitely the and even in my last video, I was saying like how my mother if I had my mother and not my father, I would have been in jail right now. I would have been locked up. But if it wasn't for my father's empathy and how he treated my mother, that made me realize that there's something worth like improving in my life. So basically like my anger came from my mother in the beginning. But my father, like seeing my
Okay.
father come home and seeing how my father joked around and like talk to my mother, kiss my mother in the forehead and all that, I realized that that's not the only way in this world. Like we don't have to be angry all the time because my father came in the same level of oppression as my mother, and he came happier.
Hmm.
So
So,
yeah,
so I'm just gonna say, so mom kind of set this course off by not being affectionate towards your father, and you kind of went to the defense of your father. Is that what I'm hearing? Or did mom do other things that was egregious to create this for you?
All right, so boom. Okay, so I'll tell you the story like because like everybody know I've been through molestation and all that, but it was there was a moment in school where like I was telling one of my friends that this guy was trying to holler at me, whatever. This fifth grader, while I was in first grade was trying to like come at me basically. And basically, like, you know how kids are, they just start making fun of you and all that. So I just started like fighting back and all that. So next thing you know, my teacher yelled at me for like just yelling back at like my friend for making fun of me. So next thing you know, I started yelling back at my teacher. So my teacher called my mother. You know how that goes, or whatever. If my mom come to like come to the class or whatever, and I don't know if y'all know about like women when it comes to well, black women when it comes to them holding their lip up and saying you better sit your words down. So she came like that. She was like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing?" So like she started getting mad or whatever. So next thing you know, I tried to explain what was going on in the school about the molestation situation, about the kids like laughing at me. As soon as I said the word "but," he smacked me in my mouth. And that's when my friends started making fun of me even more. So the
Mm.
moment that happened, that's when I realized my words didn't matter, my feelings didn't matter, me going through abuse didn't matter. So basically, all I'm gonna start doing now is beating up the people that I can, which was my friends. That's how it started off with me fighting. So I got to like 5 fights that day or whatever, simply because I wanted to beat up all the people that was making fun of me because I couldn't beat up my mother, I couldn't beat up the teacher. So I had to target the people that I could. So that's when they started praising me. So that's when I realized, you know what? This is the only way I'm gonna get accepted now. So if I keep fighting, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what started
Was
off my
this
narcissism.
was this abuse, this molestation, was this at the hands of a student or was it an adult?
It was a student. It was a student. Oh, I can tell. Yeah, the
Okay.
adults too. There was adults out there too that was doing that. So
So you had it from both sides of the equation. You go to school and
yeah,
you go home in your community, but it wasn't people who were like family members, or was it family members, or was it people in the
it,
community who did this
it
to you?
was it wasn't family members like per se or whatever, but it was friends of family members. It was friends.
Ah,
So yeah, so like
wow.
so
Okay.
it wasn't in like the household of like where I'm at. But say if I go to my cousin's house or whatever, or like my next door neighbors and all that, like there was a group of people that there was like a few times where like there was three girls or whatever, like they were teens and I was like 7 years old. They used to like whenever they used to come to the house, they used to just team up on me. Like legit team up on me for and mind you, like I said, when it comes to women, I didn't really care much about that. But it was the fact I was getting forced down. Like I was getting forced down to a point where like I couldn't like handle it. I couldn't move or whatever. These were all ugly women. Like if they were cute, I would have rocked with it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but these were all ugly women. They looked like dudes. Like
They were
so
adults.
they were 16, 17 and all that. And I was like 7.
And how
So
old were you?
I was 7. I was like
7.
7, 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, 7-year old, that's just absolutely brutal. That is molestation. You know what I
Right.
mean? At its core. So it sounds
Right.
like you were victimized by women, people at school, and you just didn't have outlets. So, I mean, that makes sense. Narcissistic people always come from hurt and abusive situations and drug abusive families, just
Mhm.
the whole layout. So I get that. So I want to get to this narcissist thing. As you got older through the years, you beat up people. One question I did want to ask: how tall are you? How big are you? Because people might want to know. Like, man, you talking about beating up people? I think you said 100 plus people, man. You gotta
Yeah.
be a
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
height and weight, man, for the
well,
fighters out there who want to come at you.
so basically, I like fighting bigger people though, but and that's also like a mindset of me getting like abused by bigger people as well. I'm 5'11" and all that, but I've been 5'11" since I was in ninth grade, but I broke my leg, whatever, and
Okay.
they had pins in my leg, basically, so it stopped my growth and all that. I think that's what stopped my growth. But at eighth grade, I was
Hmm.
like 5'11", so I've been fighting since then and everything. So yeah, 5'11", I was around 200 pounds at that time.
Okay.
So
Good fighting weight. A good fighting weight. Make your muscle, dog. Let them see it.
Nah,
Hey, you talking about ass? You talking about whooping ass, dog? We got to see the guns, man. Take us to the gun show. Take us down to man.
Nah, you look
So-
better than me, man. You got more muscles than me.
Nah,
Come on,
man. I'm just a gentle soul, man. That's it. So you said that these women are calling you narcissists. You don't beat them. You don't do anything to them. You know, you went through a lot. I'm sure you've shared with them the things that you went through. They should have some empathy for you, you know, especially if you were trying to have relationships with them. And then all of a sudden, boom, they call you a narcissist. It's got to be, people are going to ask, like, it's got to be something more than just an argument that makes them call you narcissist. So I'm asking you to probe yourself. Pause.
Okay.
I'm asking you to just see, like, what was it through introspect that would make you think that they would call you a narcissist? Because maybe they are right. I mean, to some degree. You said you're a narcissist. You said they are calling you a narcissist, but you said they might be narcissists. But what do you think?
All right, so I'll tell you one thing. One person that called me a narcissist. Like I just tell you a small story, a quick story.
Have it out, man.
Like we was having this discussion about like kids, because she had 3 kids and all that. We were talking and all that. So next thing you know, she said that all her kids, because she had 3 different baby daddies and all that. She said all 3 of her like baby daddies she was in like long-term relationship with. I was like, all right, cool. An hour later, she said that she had a one-night stand and had a baby with some guy or whatever and never seen him again. And I was looking like, hold on. You just told me an hour ago that you was in a long-distance relationship. I mean, not a long-distance relationship. You was in a long-term relationship. And then next thing you know, she didn't want to get exposed for lying. So next thing you know, she started saying like, oh, you a piece of SH or whatever, you calling me a liar. I wasn't calling you a liar. I was telling you that you lied. So next thing you know, when I said that, I don't know how provocative you want me to say, like, but she said, suck my, you know what I mean? She's from New York. So I mean, she said, suck my such and such.
They do. Women do say that in New York, man. Why do they say that?
I don't even know. I have no idea. So next thing you know, me being the simp that I was attracted to the ladies. So I mean, I was like, yo, and I'm used to women calling me an asshole and all that. I'm used to them doing all that. So basically, like I called her back up. She started saying like, oh, you're a narcissist, you have a God complex, you always want to prove somebody wrong. No, that wasn't the case. I wanted to understand what you were talking about. So the fact that she called me a narcissist because I called out on her lie. That's one situation.
Okay.
Another situation, like this lady, this is one person, whatever, that pretty much tried to R something me too. Because she put a pillow over my head or whatever because I didn't want to have sex with her. So it was a weird situation.
She tried to smother you, dog?
Yeah, because, okay, so for one, like I tried to break up with her, but she had a key to my house and all that. So there was one time I like wasn't answering her phone. So like when I went home after work, I woke up with a pillow over my face. And like I tried to push the pillow off or whatever. Next thing you know, she started punching me in my face and all that and put the pillow over my face again. Next thing you know, I legit pushed her off. So she took some bleach or whatever and tried to go over my face.
You didn't punch her or hit her, did you?
I didn't touch it.
Because for some reason, you can't defend yourself against women for any reason.
Facts. Even when you're getting killed. When you're getting murdered.
Just take the pummeling and just, yeah.
If you die, you die. It is what it is. Nah, so she tried to she took some Clorox or whatever and tried to throw it at me. And I blocked it. So as soon as I blocked it, she threw it in my Timbs. So next thing you know, my Timbs was all colorful now or whatever. So next thing you know, whatever, she I pretty much left or whatever, because she wasn't leaving. But the next thing you know, I had to come back around 2:00 in the morning. And she was still there. So next thing you know, she started saying oh, why are you such a narcissist, such and such? All because I wanted her to leave. And the problem with her is because if I kick her out, she had nowhere else to go. So now she's she's trying to blame me for being narcissistic. She's trying to blame me for having a God complex.
What did she think was going to happen after she smothered you? She was just going to leave your body in the house and just have you sitting there rotting while she just hung out at your house for years? This is not even Like, yeah, it doesn't sound like she's a real thinker there. Okay, so you ruined two. So you ruined two black queens. It sounds like what? What you did? The narcissist has ruined two great black women. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
hey, real quick. Hold on, I gotta jump to something real fast because you mentioned Tim's and you like a New York dude, right? You from New York, New Jersey, or something?
I'm from New Jersey, but I lived in Harlem or whatever. So like, I'm kind of
okay. Man, I had some great eggplant pizza when I went to New Jersey. Man, they sold like at some restaurant. It was eggplant instead of meat. They put eggplant on it. It was absolutely fantastic.
What part of New Jersey?
It was right outside of New York because I didn't want to stay in New York because it was too expensive. And it was right off the line. Yeah, it was in like a little suburb area in New Jersey before you get to New York. But it was wonderful. I had to see the name of it. Great pizza. But I did want to talk about my Tim's, man, because it's rare that we get to talk to a dude from New York, okay, about Tim's. Okay, I think I had probably the coldest Tim's ever created. And I'm sure, they weren't just mine exclusively, but so they were Wu-Tang Timberlands, right? And
I'm gonna look it up right now.
They were this high, right? They were this tall. And they had like, this is when you could sag really low, you know what I'm saying? And they had like the brown leather ripples at the top. And then the Tim suede started at the bottom. And they had Wu-Tang in gold on the side. And they had gold chains. Instead of laces, they had gold chains that instead of laces. You could put brown laces in them. They came with the shoe. But they had gold laces, man. Look them up, dude. I'm gonna try to gold lace Timberland, Wu-Tang Timberlands, man. I look. I bought them for like $350. I still sold them for $180 at the end after wearing them for like 3 years.
Oh wow!
So I think they were the coldest Timberlands I ever had in my life, man. Honestly, I hate to jump off that, but
it sounds lit. I'm trying to look it up, but I'm trying to look it up now, but I can't see nothing.
I'm gonna because I sold them on eBay. I'm gonna look on eBay and see if I can find my pictures. I'm gonna locate them, and when I put this out, I'm gonna have them on the screen so we can see them. Okay, when you watch it, because I'm gonna find them, and they was cold, absolutely. And I think it's like Shaolin Timberlands or something like that, but they were like limited edition. They were, man, I used to go to the club, dude. I thought I was the shit for real, dog. When you got the Timbs on and, you got a big bubble down, you know what I'm saying? Because I like Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? I like Wu-Tang is for the children. I like Noriega, Capone, Mobb Deep. I grew up on all of those dudes. Matter of fact, I used to have a hip hop group in Chicago. But when I walked in the club with them things on, man, and that chain was swinging, dog, on them, because the chain was heavy. It was a heavy goddamn gold. They were gold chains. They were so damn heavy. I hate to jump off subject. I'm sorry. I just had to mention that because
that's funny.
I was getting all types of attention. I don't know if it was good attention or maybe they was clowning my ass because this is in like
that was 19 like 2000.
Like 2000, this was 2006, 2005, around that time. And I had those shoes for probably about 3-4 years, man. They were, but maybe I was just getting clown. But so, yeah, people use the word narcissist so loosely, which is where we've been started this conversation out at. It's just a thing that people say. It's just something that people loosely throw around. Most people who say other people are narcissists, or I can't say I've heard a lot of people say that they are narcissists, but most people who say other people are narcissists, they have no clinical proof of it. It's just like, this is my interpretation based off of popular culture, the word being used in popular culture. This is just what I want to call this person. So have you been clinically diagnosed? Have you seen therapist, or so how can you be so sure that you are a narcissist?
I don't even know. But I'll tell you this, like all I know is I looked into the signs of narcissism, like possession, well, except for the lack of accountability, because of course, like if I'm calling myself a narcissist, I'm holding myself accountable to something. But the jealousy situation, there was one point where I wanted to own a cult because I like developed this like level of power and all that. The fact that I wanted to take advantage of certain stuff that were innocent. Mind you, I never like harmed a child or whatever. I never harmed like a female or anything. But I'm saying like in general, I wanted to attack, like I wanted to fight these people that I knew I can beat and all that. So I had the manipulation side, 'cause I was very manipulative. I was very like I said, I was very abusive. I had like my impulsive behavior because I used to steal all the time. I used to like basically I used to run from my problems. I used to run from everything that I was going through and all that. So if as soon as somebody tried to address like what's wrong with me, I also like kind of go crazy. I don't really I go crazy within myself. Like so basically I'm a narcissist, whatever. Like I'm like my like I would see blood, but I won't express it to the world basically. So if somebody tell me something about me or whatever, I would get extremely angry. But the thought of what my father like held in, the fact that my father like held in all of his anger to treat my mother like in a certain way, that taught me how to do the same thing to the world. So basically within me or whatever, I was a narcissist, but I didn't take it out on the world like that. So I had like all the traits of the narcissist or whatever, except for the
Okay.
accountability, I
All
guess. I
right.
don't
Now,
know.
yeah, no, I get it, man. I don't know if you were a narcissist or you just like tearing ass, man. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like you just like beating dudes to pieces, man. I don't know if that, I don't know what that is.
And stealing
I
though,
don't
when you
know.
say steal, because when I used to steal or whatever, I stole for power. Like I thought nothing can touch me. I thought nothing
Right.
can stop me. So wouldn't that be a sign of narcissism too?
I I can't diagnose people. I've lived with one who was clinically diagnosed 100%. Yep. I
Now I
live
have a
with
question.
someone. Yeah. Go ahead.
Nah.
Well, you say you got a
So
question?
so what are their signs of being a narcissist?
Um, Biggest sign was the classic. Because for me, let me put it like this: the symptoms that maybe a narcissist has, um, you may not know,
Mhm.
but the things that you have to endure that become symptoms for your own life, you feel. So eggshells was something that I learned later on because everything I learned about narcissism, I learned after the relationship was over with. So it wasn't like I walked in like knowing all. I had no clue that that was even a thing. You know what I'm saying? I learned this later because it's like, what the hell? And the person even told me like, I've been diagnosed with severe bipolar disorder, and a byproduct of bipolar disorder is narcissism, right?
Right.
So that's how I learned about this person. And the thing that I can remember was the symptoms that our family dealt with, and our family had to deal with. Like whenever this person would come home, they would absorb the space. Everything was about them from the time they walked through the door. If you were having a great time, that person would shift the mood through anger or extreme silence or mean spirited behaviors.
Mhm.
This person could not sit still and just enjoy peace and quiet. So they would bring like whatever that was going on in their brains, they would bring that out into the space where we all were and disrupt the flow of the household. There was nothing that you could do right and perfect. There was nothing good that you could do if you would do something like, hey, I got you something. It would be like, well, why didn't you get me this? You know, or hey, I did something for you. Well, why didn't you do it like this? I would have wanted it like that. So nothing ever satisfied that person. Another product of that was hypersexuality, always something sexual, to be talked about, always something, the extreme nature of sexual encounters was never just typical, normal adult, we do what we do. It was always something special, extra special shit that, for me, yeah, that's great every now and then, but I don't want that all the time. I got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? I gotta live. I gotta go cut the grass. Let's get this over with and let's get out back to life. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff to do. I got jobs. Um, and let's see, gaslighting was something that I learned later on too, right? Because and how would I explain gaslighting from my encounters? So this is what I would deal with is a changing of your reality. within that relationship. So for instance, I could catch you doing something, right? Red-handed. And you would somehow manipulate the situation so that it was something that either they didn't do or something that I made them do. And once you start dealing with that over and over, it warps your reality. And now you don't believe what you see a lot of. So you always go through, in a narcissistic relationship, you always are figuring out, was this person doing something intentionally? Or was it something that I did to make that person behave that way? Or did I really see you talking to somebody? Did that number that was on your phone, was that really a guy? Even though I picked up the phone and called it and it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you never can have a solid foundation when you're dealing with a narcissistic person. And that would be gaslighting from what we observed as family members in that household, if that makes sense. I don't know. I could pull up the clinical terminology for it, but the only way I can explain is what I interpreted, and then later on what I learned about it, because I actually went to therapy for a while after that, because I just had a lot of things going on in my life at that time. And at the end of that relationship, everything came to terms, from like the death of my mother and just a lot of things that I was dealing with, financial issues, family, outside of the relationship, family issues. So I really felt like it was a great opportunity for me to go into therapy and counseling. So I spent a great deal of time in there learning about, one, that person, and just the nature of narcissism and bipolar disorders and different psychological diseases that affect relationships and people's lives and things. So long story short, sorry for the long-winded spill on it, but that's what I got from it.
I love it. No, like, so like, also want, and it's funny that you brought up bipolar and gaslighting, because like, say with bipolar and all that, like I got told that I was bipolar as well and everything, but it wasn't a clinical situation. It was me like being happy at one moment, and then I started thinking about the bills, and then I got upset and all that, and then somebody thought I was bipolar because I didn't want to talk anymore. So when it comes to how many people are getting diagnosed when it comes to being bipolar and being narcissistic and all that, compared to the people that's actually being diagnosed from the relationship? We're going to doctors to try to get diagnosed from like with these type of conditions, or are we just believing in the people that want to gaslight us because we're in a certain mood?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. Here's the thing with that. I'm not so sure that even being diagnosed is helpful, because I don't know how many people have recovered from psychological issues like that. They said that being a bipolar person is one of the hardest psychological issues to treat, because when that person is in that state of, what do you call it? I forgot the name of it, but it's in this hyper state. And Kanye West, actually, he's bipolar. And when you watch him in the White House, a few years ago, he did a press conference with Donald Trump in the White House. And fantastic to watch, because you get to see a bipolar person who is unaware, but they're aware at the same time. He's talking about spaceships. He's talking about all these magical things. In the White House, you got all these black preachers around. You've got all these cameras, all these politicians, and him and Trump are just sitting there. And he's got this big old Make America Great hat on. And he's just yapping away about this nonsensical shit that doesn't make any sense. But in his mind, it's like the best stuff ever. But in that state, when those bipolar people are in those states, they don't really recognize what they've done when they come back out of them. So when they come out of that euphoric state, and they're usually very, during those times, they are very hypersexual. They're very, let's say, promiscuous. They make very bad lifestyle choices, from drugs to alcohol to drinking and driving to doing anything. And they can be in those positions for months and months and months. And when they come back out of it, they have to apologize. And they're like, and people are asking them to apologize. And they're like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. So the person who I was with, the end of our relationship, she was in that manic. That's what it's called. Manic. It's called a manic phase. Okay. And during that manic phase, we ended the relationship. And I had no clue, like, why are we in a relationship? I just, my mom just died. I don't even know what's going on. My brain is going. A few months later, when that person came out of that manic phase, they came back and was like, hey, I really want to apologize. Once I realized and like all the stuff that I did, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like can we make this work again? And I'm like, no, goddamn it. Absolutely no. I appreciate the apology. Great. But that was a little bit too much for me. You know what I'm saying? So that manic phase is something that these people go through. So that's why it's so hard to treat, because imagine treating a person with Alzheimer's, right? When they come back and they're now normal and they're like, why are you giving me these pills? I can remember stuff, but the things that they can remember don't even exist. Right. These people don't have a clue. Yeah, these people don't have a clue. Right. So I mentioned the hyper promiscuity. Have you had problems with that? And I'm not trying to get beat up over the thing by you, okay? Mr. Now you look like a goddamn Street Fighter character now, man, because you've been fighting so many damn people. Now you got a Street Fighter name. So if you went through promiscuity, has it always been just women, or have you? Because a lot of times when people have been molested, sometimes they are willing to be willing to have homosexual relationships as well. Has it always just been women?
I never thought about a penis in my life. I love women.
Okay.
So here's the thing though. Here's the crazy part about like me going through molestation and all that. Even though I've been molested by men and women, I never thought about. I understand what you're saying, because even the people that I was counseling or whatever, it was like I counseled like at least like 50 gay people and all that. Only 2 of them wasn't molested. So that goes to show, like, the statistics show that if you go through some sort of situation when you're innocent, you're going
Sexual
to grow
abuse,
up so like you're gonna like normalize it like when you get older and all that. But me, I never had like a thought of like sexual thoughts about men and all that. But I've always had sexual thoughts about older women. Okay. Like for some reason I was big on older women. I started dating my teacher like when I was like 18 years old. So that was my main thing. My first 2 girlfriends was 30 and 35. So I was big on that type of stuff or whatever, because I like actually wanted to take advantage of older people, because I've been taken advantage of by older people and all that. So
now you said you counseled 50 gay men. What was that about?
Huh? Yeah, well, yeah, I counseled I was a counselor. I was a counselor basically. So okay. Like basically I did certain stuff for this organization, and they they would come to me talking about certain stuff. And their childhood was crazy. Like their childhood they were suicidal and all that. So it comes to a point where and people should understand this, like whenever you're going through molestation, I think I told you about the whole the defense mechanism. When you're pretty much like going in defense mode, you start like spraying out pheromones or whatever. So like we start peeing on ourselves when we do go through molestation and all that. But also suicidal thoughts take place, because like now certain hormones or whatever is brewing to a point where like you're like you wanna harm yourself, because like there's too much going on in your body that shouldn't be taking place at that young age and all that. So like a lot of stuff is going through certain stuff. Like, so when people are homosexual, like they legit want to take advantage of something.
That's a controversial statement right there. You do know that. I'm not trying to get you canceled.
No, but if you look into like a lot of this stuff and all that, like people the ones that are gay or homosexual, they tend to like a lot of other things as well. Whenever you're going through molestation and all that stuff goes out of whack to a point where it starts clashing with each other. So even if you think about even if you think about the strongest men or whatever, the toughest men, I'm from the hood basically. Like a lot of these men that you think are tough, a lot of these gangsters out here, whatever, they still crave men at the same time. You know why? Because they also been through like sexual situations and all that, everything else.
Okay, let me push back on that a little bit.
Okay.
The problem that I have with that type of statement is that we are part of nature. In the natural order, many species have male and male or female and female relationships. So it's expressed in nature. So why would a homosexual person have to go through some type of trauma in order to be homosexual? Wouldn't it just be something that would naturally occur? Maybe you're just born. Some people are born like that. What do you think?
Well, that's an absolute good question because I agree with you. I'm not saying that they're all I'm not saying that they're all like been through certain stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is the people that I've encountered. So like basically like y'all, you guys can prove me wrong. Like I personally think that's a great question because I don't know all the answers. So I mean, I was just going based off of like the people that I've counseled and like all the stuff that I've
Okay.
studied and all that. So like yeah, like so I definitely agree with what you're saying.
No, I get it. And you know, if any viewers out there, if that piece that he just put there together, if it is offensive to you or you feel upset about it, write something in the comment box. You know, where because obviously he's not trying to be disrespectful. He's just talking about what he's observed in his life experiences. And if you know something that can enlighten him, you know, if you're a homosexual person, write it in there so he can, because that's what this is about. I hate the fact that, you know, like we were talking about earlier, when you say something, you know, you can only speak from your reference point. And if someone is really offended, instead of being offended and trying to damage that person who doesn't know anything beyond their reference point, why not try to enlighten them on what you know and have a conversation? Why not reach out to the same outlet? You know, if somebody has a problem, they can come on this show and they can discuss that. I bet you'd be willing to come on the show and talk to them too. So I just want to put that out there because, yeah, I like shows to be organic. I don't like to cancel my own shows. I have in the past because some stuff people just go nuts over it. But I do want to give people the opportunity to speak and grow and actually help actually grow the community of knowledge that we're trying to build here. Yeah, I don't know if someone has something to say about that. Hey, reach out. Don't get mad. Right. I really appreciate you being honest about that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like I love to get proven wrong because that gives me a way to broaden my standpoint and understanding. I'll even shout you out. I'll be like, yo, this person like actually makes sense. All right. So
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. You know, when you were explaining that though, I couldn't stop thinking about Felice Johnson.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah, I got you. That's a good one. Okay.
Because it sounds, you know, that dude, he's a problem. Like, is he free? I'm hoping that he's not free because the things that his openness to being so comfortable with talking about the exploitation of other men in prison, you know, is crazy to me. And, you know, we just watch it for fun and laugh at it as a society. But that dude is absolutely crazy. I would think that from what you were explaining, that's what I was seeing. Because that's a lot of gay guys that I know, you know, and they are just normal dudes. And I don't care what people do behind closed doors, you know, right. That's on you.
Right. And also, like, here's the thing, though. Like, I have a good friend. Like, he's a gay guy and all that. And he's very respectful and all that. So I'm not saying that, like, it's all people, whatever. I was just saying, like, it's like a study that came out that showed certain stuff and all that. But I'm kind of pissed at the Black community right now. Simply because
why so?
The fact that we allow somebody that violate men openly and brag about violating men become famous like this. And now he's on Pop the Balloon challenges. He's like a comedian now. We forget about all the stuff that he's done because he did it to men. But what are they doing with R. Kelly and P. Diddy right now? What are they doing to the people? Like the fact that that shows that they don't value us that much. Because we look at somebody that openly brags about it, and we look at him like he's a famous person. I guarantee you he's getting people autograph right now. Instead of like
Mm-hmm.
then chastise, he should be locked in the house somewhere, or whatever, trying to hide from people. No,
Yeah.
the problem with most of us or whatever is we don't want to like stick within our own beliefs.
We
Like
don't
we
take
want to
shit
like
serious.
we don't. That's why nobody take us serious. Nobody take us
Good
serious.
point.
So like when you brought up the whole Fleece Johnson or whatever, like I started laughing and I started getting pissed off because I've been through the worst when it came to like getting violated by men. If somebody was gonna praise the person that violated that violated me, I would have been on the like I would have showed my narcissism right there. So I would have been abusing
Mm.
everybody that was asking for his autograph. But now we're looking at all the people that like been violated by this dude or whatever, and now he's on camera, like joking and laughing, getting women. And women are taking
That's
it.
the joke. That's why we laugh at him, though. It's not laughing because he's funny. It's laughing because it's amazing. It's astonishing as to how is this person still able to function in society and be viewed as valuable after admitting story after story after story, and then they put the scary music behind him now. And that's the funny part of it. Is like, how is he not canceled, but you can be canceled for having a thought, a perspective? You know what I'm saying? How can it's a famous female artist who said that she admitted to drugging men. Huh?
That me?
What?
Well,
yeah, are you back?
You hear me? You get me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you good.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that happens.
For a second. Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I got so hyped, man. I think I messed up the electricity in the air, dog. Cause like cause that irritates me as well. Is that like there's a female artist, rap artist who openly admitted to drugging men in a motel and stealing from them and doing things to them, and nothing's happened. But as soon as a woman says something, it's over for a man, right? You're right. The value for men is very low in our society. We are pretty much nothing,
Right.
Even when you think about the P. Diddy thing, because Fleece Johnson flows me right into the P. Diddy trial, is that Cassie, to some degree, was a willing participant past a certain point. Not saying that it started out like that, but and I understand her position. I do. A lot of people don't, but I do. But I'm saying at a certain point in time, you could view her as a willing participant. But when you think about the artists who were stuck underneath his power, who succumbed to his sexual deprivation, a lot of men, there's a lot of stories about men who wanted to be rappers who were stuck underneath this guy who got sexually abused. Nobody talks about that, really.
Right.
It's just about the women.
Right. It's funny because like they're looking at me like I'm crazy, whatever. I know like the first time I said something about going to molestation, whatever, they thought I was gay. And mind you, I was 7 years old when I was going through it. So you're calling me gay while I'm like a child, basically. But even with Cassie, whatever, I totally agree. Like I don't think she wanted to get at the hotel and all that, but I can see that she signed those deals or whatever, and she knew that who she was dealing with at the same time. So like I'm pretty sure she took them drugs or whatever, like on her own. I'm pretty sure she did a bunch of stuff on her own, basically to a point where I can see where you're coming from when it comes to somebody being like a willing sacrifice and all that. But when we look at that guy Fleece Johnson and all that, like these people wasn't a willing sacrifice at all. He was forcing these people to do this type of stuff and all that. So like why do we contradict ourselves when it comes to, that's why I said they don't take us serious at all, because we don't take ourselves serious.
Yeah, like we pretty much 100% right.
Yeah, so like whether it's Diddy, Bill Cosby and all that, we just want to be in the trend. So whatever the trend is telling us is what we're gonna allow. Like so if the trend is telling us to down P. Diddy for what he's doing, we're gonna down him. If the trend is telling like us to down Bill Cosby, we're gonna down him. If the trend is telling us to look at Fleece Johnson as a comedian, we're gonna look at him as a comedian. we're not gonna go based off of our instincts. We're not looking at people like, okay, this person violated this man. That's wrong. We're looking at the media is looking at like showing him as a comedian. So when we so when we're gonna have that like when we're gonna have that understanding that we have to take ourselves serious and understand what we believe in have to be in the forefront before what the media wants to believe in. When are we going to take the standpoint of us actually understanding ourselves and what's right and wrong instead of what media is telling us?
Yeah, we have as not just African American people, but in society, we often have to bear the brunt of our problems. We get the impact immediately from the things that we don't address, but other people, other cultures don't have to bear the brunt of it at all. We can see that right now if you look at what we are dealing with in the United States right now. There are high profile people. I'm not going to mention a name, and I'm not going to mention a party, and I'm not going to mention any of that, but there are some very high profile people who have gotten away with all of that, and they don't look like us, and they always do. It's rare that any of those people have to take the consequences, have to deal with the totality of a consequence from a decision that they made. But yeah, man, thank you for being a part of the show, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm also going to take the time to thank you because you've done a great job with your podcast panel group that you have on Facebook, man. And can you tell the name of it? Because I'm a part of it, and I think it's wonderful. I think you're doing a great job as a moderator and an owner of that group.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's called Podcast Panel Group. I think that's what it's called. Oh no. Well, yeah, like so if y'all do want to if y'all have a podcast and y'all want to be a part of this amazing group, you can link up with me and all that. Like because we having fun over there, man. We connecting, like good conversations out there and all that. We trying to grow together, man. Like we're not alone.
It's called the podcast panel. That's what it's called. The podcast panel. Yep, just straight basic. And you'll see what's your name on there again? Is it Zzenn on there, I think? Or
well, it's Zzenn. It's Zzenn Mode and it's Arturo.
Okay. So look for that Zzenn Mode or Arturo, and you guys can be a part of that podcast panel group. And I encourage any podcaster out there who's looking to meet a group of people who talk, who communicate, who work together and come up with ideas. I would encourage you all to link up with this man right here, Arturo, and be on the podcast panel and, link up with some positive people in the podcasting industry working through things, man. It's excellent. Excellent. Mm-hmm.
I have to commend you because like your podcast look magical. Like I don't know what you do with your background or whatever. I don't know what you do with the camera. I think you're like the most professional podcaster out of all of us. So I can learn a lot from what you're doing, basically. I heard that.
You're gonna make me narcissistic, dude. You keep on giving me shit like that. I'm gonna get real narcissistic.
I need you to come along with me, man. Like we need to join narcissism together, dude.
No, I thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time with podcasting. I just do it. I just enjoy it. And I just try to make it the best that I can make because I'm always like second guessing everything. So it's a mental thing for me. But yeah, I really appreciate that, man. I try. Thank you.
I appreciate you for having me, man. Like, yo, it was fun. It was like one of the dopest conversations I had so far, man.
Yeah, let's do it again. Cool.
Definitely.
Peace.
Definitely.
All right.